So recently on the website, someone posted a comment saying, I'm racking my brains, I'm scouring sources, trying to, get state national status and standing, saying letters, tried several remedies, including writing to the Secretary of State, the State Department, and other places. And all of them are being rebutted or sent back. And my answer is, you don't need them to say you're a state national. And when I say you, I really mean thou, because it's singular. Anyway, so I'll try them thou, but like thou doesn't need that. Thou, if thou is a state national, that's it. You just, thou has to live as a state national. And even if thou is a state national, a state national can give away rights. I mean, a state national can join the military, for example, and the state national then has to be back at the base at certain times and all different things. And there's a whole set of laws, military rules and regulations that would then apply because the state national enlisted. So even if the Department of State said, yes, okay, we got the letter and we'll note that that was a state national, I mean, you still could give away your rights. I mean, they've had a lot of time developing all these schemes to deceive state nationals. So let's take the first, travel in an automobile. I mean, a state national can still walk into a Department of Motor Vehicles and say, hey, I'm a resident, which he really, he or she really is not. And, I want to drive, even though it wouldn't be driving because it's not going to be for hire. But a state national could still mistakenly do that. So, but a state national can convert, instead travel in an automobile. And if pulled over, say, just so you know, I'm a state national. And, if you feel, what's the emergency, officer, as I saw in one video. So you don't need the Secretary of State's letter to say, to show the, the policy officer who's pulled thou over. So, and then allodial title to land. I mean, that's another scheme they did to dupe, deceive state nationals. I mean, somewhere along the lines, people had allodial title to the land, like real, they owned it. And instead, now people have property, which is really just a right. Like property, I think, just means rights to something. And they have potentially just tenant rights to the land, and that's why they could be taxed on it. So, a state national can be duped and has been duped into doing that. So a state national needs to reaffirm and figure out where in the transaction history for the land that allodial title was given up and get it back, or state on the record and post in the sheriff's office or something saying, hey, listen, I have allodial title to the land. And then if some corporate, some town, municipal corporation called city of or state of says, oh, we're going to tax you on this. We're like, well, what? You're going to tax the land? No, the property. Okay, well, there's no property here. You just have to get it through thou head. And it's actually just getting back to the automobile and land. It's easy to understand. Like with the automobile, you have to get the MCO for the automobile, the manufacturer certificate of origin, which most people don't know about because it's sent from the dealer directly to DMV. And that's a scheme to dupe state nationals. So you got to get that back. And it's like, if the DMV won't get it back, okay, well then import a car, import a car for, an automobile from, I don't even like to use the word car, but import an automobile from somewhere and at the dock, they'll give you the MCO, and then you got it and travel away. You're not driving away because you're not for hire. That was not for hire. So there's some similarities there. And then as far as, let's move on to income. If you read the IRS or Title 26, the US code, they tax taxable income. And so it begs the question, okay, well, what's non-taxable income? Well, if you really go into it, it's like the only thing that really is taxed is stuff that is connected to the federal government, whether the land, do you drill for oil on the land? Okay, got to return a portion. Do you graze cattle on the land? Okay, got to return a portion. Do you like Frank Brushaber? Do you own stock in a domestic, which means federation corporation? Okay, you get taxed on that. Are you mistakenly referring to thyself as an employee who works within the United States? Those are things a state national can do, and many of them do. So you have to stop doing that, because you're lying anyway, because it's not the case. So these are things that I'm just to reiterate the whole germ of the, nut, origin of this is like these are things a state national needs to do, whether or not Secretary of State acknowledges that thou is a state national. And I'll just end with the whole schoolwork, attend work thing with the K through 12. I mean, the only persons need to send an agent to their schoolwork companies slash schools, which have a principal, and companies have principals. FYI, who's the principal of the company? The company. It's a finance term. So a state national can still mistakenly think that their sons and daughters are persons, and or fall into that scheme where they just not comprehend what an artificial person is. I mean, you have sons and daughters, you don't have artificial persons, but you have to get the certificate of live birth, or I mean, I don't know if you have to, but it helps to fully comprehend what's going on. I mean, they are applying their statutes and regulations to the person and the second birth certificate. What's the second birth certificate? That's what create the LLC person. That's what people they think that's the birth certificate when in fact it's not. It's for this franchise, and whoever issues the certificate or the franchise can tell the franchise what to do. I mean, basics 101 of franchises. So a state national, they have been duped into this. So anyway, that's the thing. Like, so as far as like, and I wrote in my blog post about this, like like sort of a homage to the Wizard of Oz, which actually was an allegory that's very helpful to know that, like, the Tin Man, he had a heart. The lion was brave, and the Scarecrow had a brain. They didn't need Oz to tell them that. They thought they did, but they didn't. And Dorothy had some rights as well. And so you don't need anyone. If thou is a state national, then that's it. You want to get the certificate of live birth. You want to get your high school photos together, your high school yearbook, your elementary school, like to show like who you are, who thou is. Certificate of live birth is very helpful because it shows like a baby boy or girl was born within the United States to a mom and dad who are also state nationals. So this is the evidence. It's the real deal. Like they're gonna. But anyway, I got to tell you, like it's their problem. If they want to claim, little Johnny's got to go to attend/work. Attend is a work term. Like attend to this has to go to their K through 12 company, aka school. All right, well then prove who you're talking about here. And what they're going to say is John S. Smith. Okay, well John S. Smith is the franchise. Okay, and that's not here. Okay, so go elsewhere. Okay, this is a baby. This is a boy. This is an 8-year-old boy, and you have no jurisdiction over this. Okay, this is my property. You would say as a father or a mother, or a mom or a dad or mom. I think those are better ways of going about it. Anyway, go forth and conquer, and know who thou is. That's the most important thing. Knowing it. Rather than the Secretary of State confirming it. And I'd like to say, even if Secretary of State did say, okay, yeah, we got it, we noted it, I mean, you still could screw up. As I said, you still could join the military. You still could mistakenly, buy into their scheme where you think you're driving or, an automobile, or you passengers, which means paying customers, or you're driving a motor vehicle, which really is another phrase for a taxi or a truck. So thou still could screw up. So anyway, see my blog post about this if that's helpful, and thanks.